Hi there, and welcome to today's session, LAMP Words for Life, Understanding the Vocabulary. My name's Emily, and today I'm going to spend some time with you getting to know this fabulous vocabulary. Welcome to your new Words for Life vocabulary. We're excited to be going on this journey with you and look forward to helping guide you through the new vocabulary with this helpful workbook. The LAMP Words for Life vocabulary is available on several different types of talker, and whilst each talker or device may work in slightly different ways, the way the words are organised and laid out is the same across all of these. Because of this, the workbook and this session will focus on learning how the words are organised and help you to practice using the words by yourself. The workbook will focus on the full LAMP Words for Life vocabulary, as we find most individuals start with this vocabulary version. If you'd like to learn about how to do other things with your talker, such as changing buttons, adding words, or changing how words are pronounced, you need to find information specific to your talker. You can do this by visiting our website and accessing our helpful quick reference guides, looking for helpful videos on YouTube, attending a free online webinar with us, which you can find details of through our website, or calling us on the number at the start of the workbook and arranging face-to-face training with one of our experienced consultants. To get the most out of today's session, I would suggest that you have with you a copy of the LAMP Words for Life vocabulary workbook, a pen to jot down any notes and to complete the activities, a talker or laptop which can run the LAMP Words for Life vocabulary. And I don't know about you, but whenever I'm learning anything new, a nice hot brew and some bickies go down a treat. It's activity time, and we're going to begin with just noting down a bit of information about your talker. If you know it, try to note down the type of talker being used, the serial number of the talker, which is usually found on the back of the device, if you know it, the date the talker was purchased, and where the funding for the talker came from. All of this information can be really useful should you need to contact Liberator in the future for any support or guidance. You can pause this video while you complete the activity. Within LAMP Words for Life, there are 3 choices of vocabulary for you to work with. If your talker is an accent device, there will also be the option of having any of the 3 vocabularies in a format adapted for individuals with a visual impairment. It's not expected that you start at one level and work through each. A vocabulary level doesn't need to be mastered before transitioning to the next one. Instead, the decision on where to start will be influenced by factors such as an ability to attend to sequence steps, need for immediate reinforcement, and access to vocabulary. Always start at the highest level where the individual demonstrates a moderate level of success. The 3 vocabularies are a one-hit vocabulary, which contains 82 pre-stored words that require one button to be pressed to say the word, a transition vocabulary, which contains 205 frequently occurring words. It starts to offer more vocabulary and introduces verb tenses, and the full version, which gives access to thousands of words and offers a robust vocabulary and full range of grammatical markers. There are several things which are really important about the LAMP Words for Life vocabulary and make it so effective. LAMP Words for Life encourages you to learn each word individually, rather than encouraging a lot of pre-stored phrases. This means you can combine words in any way you wish to say anything you like. Within the vocabulary, a priority is placed on core vocabulary, and so core vocabulary words can be accessed more easily. Fringe or topic words are still available, but they may require more buttons to be pressed in sequence, although it is still unlikely to be more than 3 buttons which must be pressed in any sequence, and this is because core words are used more frequently in speech. Each word is produced by its own unique combination of buttons. As each word is only said one way, there is no need for relearning of word location based on categories, and this allows for the development of quick, effortless communication. Once a word is learned, it is learned for life. More motor patterns may be learned as the vocabulary develops, but the ones already learned will not change. At the full LAMP 84 level, every word can be accessed by combining 3 buttons or less. At the full 84 level, the initial core word appears as a label on the first button. You don't have to hear a word to get a word within LAMP Words for Life. The first 4 to 5 spaces on the second row are empty in the transition and full levels. Storing personalised words here allows for the motor plan for these words to remain constant across levels. And there are no double hits on an icon before going to a third icon, or triple hits on one icon. This does differ in the LAMP version that is suited for people with visual impairment, and this avoids accidental activation. And within LAMP Words for Life, words which typically come in pairs will not be located close together, and this is to make sure that each word has its own unique action to say the word and reduces motor confusion. It's time for activity 2 now, and a quick quiz on the principles of LAMP Words for Life. You can pause this video and restart it once you've completed the quiz. So let's take some time to look at how the vocabulary is organised. The rules governing the language structure are for the benefit of the individual teaching the language and to help us feel confident at modelling the vocabulary. You don't need to worry about teaching these rules to the person who'll be using LAMP. Instead, we recommend that words be taught by emphasising and showing the individual the motor pattern. But for us as the people modelling the new vocabulary, it can help us to know a little bit about the rules. Words for Life is organised in layers, and the top layer, or home screen, which we can see here, is always the starting point. This allows for the pattern of a given word to remain consistent. If we take a look at the home screen, you can see several one-hit high-frequency words. These are is, were, was, on, to, an, the, and a. You'll also notice a +S button, and this is our plural button. Pressing this button will add an S to any word, pluralising it. The spell and num key goes to a keyboard with numbers. And the clear button will clear any text in the sentence display bar. As you look at the home page, you'll notice that certain buttons are different colours. Before we go to look at the rules behind the vocabulary, it's worth having a look at the colours, as this will help us understand the rules. Our green buttons will typically represent verbs or action words. Our blue buttons will be where we find adjectives or describing words. Our orange buttons will link to nouns, noun categories and names. Our yellow buttons represent pronouns or people words. The white buttons, which have a coloured image on them, are our category buttons. And the black and white icons you see here are the grammar words, which are the small parts of speech. There are 5 rules or patterns within LAMP Words for Life, which can help us to understand where words might be situated and where we might find them. Let's take a look at each of them now. So let's spend some time practicing the different patterns and getting familiar with the vocabulary. Over time, with regular practice, these patterns will become much more familiar, and using the LAMP Words for Life vocabulary will become much more automatic for you. To complete the next section of the video, you're going to ideally need access to either a talker with LAMP Words for Life on it, or be able to access the LAMP Words for Life software on our free emulation software, which you can use on laptops or PCs. To download our software, visit our support website and select New Voice, the UK emulation software. If you're using a talker, make sure you take a backup of the vocabulary before you begin to explore the vocabulary now. Make sure the whole vocabulary is unmasked, and if you need to, you can refer to a quick reference guide on how to do this. In pattern 1, we combine a category button with our blue, green, or orange buttons. If you can remember, when you look at the home page of LAMP, you can see the category buttons here. And the green, blue, and orange buttons we talked about earlier are here. When we hit one of these category buttons, the green, blue, and orange buttons give us an action word, describing word, and noun category, which is related to the category button we've selected. Let's look at this in action. If we hit our apple button, our green action word becomes eat with all the different word endings. Our blue button, our describing button, becomes hungry, with the comparative and superlative options there.
Hungry.
And our orange noun category becomes food, with the plural version here.
Food.
You'll notice that when I hit the apple button, some labels had capital letters. This means that when you touch this button, it won't speak, but when you hit it, it will take you to another layer where you will then be able to find that word.
Grill.
Time for activity 3 now, where we're going to practice pattern 1. Try exploring the category buttons and seeing the words they generate. And don't forget to pause this video while you complete the activity. Now let's look at pattern 2, which is nouns. You may have noticed that when you were hitting your category buttons in the last activity, a number of names or topic folders were appearing at the top of the screen. Let's try with our apple button again now. When we hit our apple button, a number of topics appear along the top row. These are where we can find our nouns, names, or topic words. And each category button will give you different topics of nouns along the top. The pictures on each category button will give you a clue as to the category of topic words they represent. See if you can guess some of the categories in the next activity. Activity 4 now, and time to practice pattern 2. Have a look at the category buttons on your page and try and think which categories they might lead to. Try to guess the categories before you look them up on the talker, and don't forget to pause the video while you do this. Pattern 3 is pronouns. The yellow buttons which are to the left of the screen are our pronoun buttons. Pronouns are words we use instead of the name of something, such as I, you, he, and she. There are lots of different pronouns we use depending on the situation, and we can create all of these simply by combining these pronoun buttons in different ways. In the early days of language learning, you won't use all of the pronouns, but as language skills develop, you may wish to model them later on. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what each type of pronoun is, so long as you know where you can find them when you need to use them. Let's have a look at the combinations now, and then you can have some time to practice. If we start by just double tapping any of our pronoun buttons, we will get the subject pronoun. For example, I, you, it, me. Combining one of our pronoun buttons and then hitting the me button will give us an object pronoun. Words such as him, her, and them. If we reverse that sequence and start by hitting the me button and then select a pronoun, we will get reflexive pronouns. So pronouns such as myself, yourself, itself, herself. If we again start with a pronoun button but then go on to hit the my button, we get possessive adjectives. Words such as your, its, and our. And again, if we reverse this sequence and begin by hitting the my button and then selecting a different pronoun, we get possessive pronouns. Words such as ours, yours, and theirs. Activity 5 now, and time to find those pronouns. Using the worksheet, try the button combinations and see which pronouns you can find. Don't forget to pause the video while you do this. Whilst LAMP Words for Life does prioritise producing single words, there are a small selection of pronoun phrases which are included in the vocabulary. These are declarative statements, negative declarative statements, questions, and negative questions. There's a simple rule to help you remember the patterns for each of the phrases. For statements, the sequence moves right over the screen, and for questions, the sequence moves left. Which means that for statements, you'll begin by hitting a pronoun which is on the left and then move right across the screen to hit a category button. And for questions, it's just the opposite. You'll begin by hitting a category button on the right and then move left across the screen to hit a pronoun. Let's have a look at this in action. So let's have a look at some pronoun phrases in action. If we hit the I button, you will see how the display changes and look at the words to the right of the screen. A number of phrases have now appeared. These are the declarative statements. Statements such as I want,
I want,
I can,
I can,
I'm going.
I'm going.
This will happen with any of the pronouns when we hit them.
You are going. She is going.
We can make these next statements negative by inserting the not button into the sequence. For example, I'm not
going.
going. It isn't going.
It isn't going.
She isn't going.
She isn't going.
If we start with the category buttons and then move across to the pronouns, we get some question statements. Let's start by hitting drink. You will see that our pronoun statements have now become questions. Words such as can I?
Can I?
Can you?
Can you?
Can she?
Can she?
And this will happen with all of the category words. For example, do I want?
Do I want?
Do you want?
Do you want?
And as with our declarative statements, we can make the questions negative by inserting the not button into the sequence. For example, can't I?
Can't I? Can't you?
Can't you? Activity 6 now, and time to search for some pronoun phrases. Complete the worksheet and pause this video while you do so. The fifth and final pattern helps us to find the parts of speech, the small words which help us to build complex sentences and add details such as position. The buttons which will lead to parts of speech are easy to identify. The pictures are black and white on a white background, and each button leads to a different group of words. Our am button leads to helping verbs.
Am.
Our please button leads to interjection words.
Yum.
Our that button leads to our determiners.
This.
Our and conjunction button leads to joining words.
And.
Our bridge takes us to preposition or position words.
Between.
What takes us to question words.
How.
And there takes us to adverbs.
Very.
You'll notice that when I hit the wizard button, as well as bringing up determiners, I also got a describing word and a noun category related to the category picture we'd chosen. Our seventh and final activity now, as we look for the parts of speech. Don't forget to pause the video while you complete the activity. Within Lamp Words for Life, there are two useful tools which can help you become familiar with the vocabulary. The Vocabulary Builder tool allows you to only have a small selection of words visible on the screen at one time, meaning you only have a few words to focus on. This can be really useful when learning motor patterns for new words, or perhaps when trying to target specific vocabulary words within an activity. When we use a Vocabulary Builder menu, we can hide all of the words and just select a small selection we wish to see. This makes it so much easier to model target words. If we turn Vocabulary Builder off, you'll see the words are all still there, we've just temporarily hidden them. And if you look where the words more and stop are, when I turn Vocabulary Builder back on, you'll notice that the words remain in the same place. They aren't moved at all, and this makes it easy to learn the motor patterns. You can gradually increase the number of words that are visible as the activity develops. And if you want to see all the words again, you can quickly turn it off. Another useful tool is the word finding tool. Here we can enter a word we might be searching for. Hit OK, and it will show us the sequence we need to press for the word. We can also choose to have the vocabulary show us where the word is by showing us the automatic sequence, or if we prefer, we can go into the word finder menu and ask the device to guide us, meaning that we have to hit the icon before it moves to the next one in the sequence. And this makes it easier to find the words and build up the motor pattern. Vocabulary Builder and Word Finder will tend to work slightly differently depending on which talker you are using. So for specific instructions on how to use either of these functions, it's important you have a look at the quick reference guide for your talker, which you can find on our website if you don't already have a copy. Congratulations! You should now have a greater understanding of the LAMP Words for Life vocabulary, including its principles, the patterns within the vocabulary, and useful tools which can help you get the most out of LAMP Words for Life. As you begin to use the vocabulary, you'll see your motor patterns develop, and you'll notice how your own speed of using the vocabulary increases with time. For ideas about activities you can use to teach language, or for useful planning tools to help you choose which words to work on, you can visit our website. And you can also follow us on social media and receive regular ideas and activities straight to your newsfeed. And why not check out our YouTube channel for a wide wealth of fabulous AAC videos with loads of great content. If you'd like a certificate of completion, you can email us at training@liberator.co.uk and we'll provide you one for your records. Good luck with LAMP Words for Life and have fun.